Okay, I'm live, a little early, but I'm here. Okay, just waiting for people to come in. Get going.
Smeggy, Smeggy, Smeggy. Is there anyone there? Calling Smeggy.
Hi, hey, Raph, how you doing? Welcome to the show. I'm just getting myself organized here. Somehow I got all backwards.
Welcome to Good Channel Lobby Chat. Enjoy yourselves. Late night lobby.
All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Raph? Am I coming across? I hope so. Let me know if you hear me. Okay, great. All right, welcome to the show. It's hey Clover. There's a link in the gun channel side. It won't let me send out links anymore, and I don't know how to do it through gun channels unless I have your email. So anyway, I want to say great show last week. Thanks for all those that were here. I thought I'd start off this show by going on to say that after what, a week and a half, 2 weeks of people going back and forth, I still support the NRA. And I will continue to do it. You know, I've done some research and over this last week, looking at Congress lobbyists, and really NRA has the best lobbyist system, should I say, going at the moment. You know, plus money-wise, they're pumping in more money than anybody else in the gun industry right now. From what I saw, I mean, these are just, figures are about 6 months old right now that I was looking at. But, you know, that's one of the reasons why I keep them. To do that. Plus, the gun range I belong to, you got to be an NRA member to belong to that as well. So that, I mean, that's another reason why I keep it. But I mean, I listened to the Chris Cox chat with Yeager. You know, what did you expect him to say? No, we made a mistake. Personally, I don't think they did. I don't think it was what the reaction. I don't think they got the reaction they wanted. But I don't think it was a mistake for what they did. As he said, you know, it's a little bit at a time. And really, except for this little, at federal level, right now, there's less going on at federal level than there is at state level. State level, they're killing us. Hey, Grim. you know, most states now are getting hammered. As I said last week, we are here in Rhode Island. They're getting ready to do the gun registration. You know, the limit on the magazine ban. You know, 10 rounds only. They want us to. One of their other big ones is they want us to get insurance on every firearm we own. You know, so the registration doesn't go through. They got us by insurance policies. They know how many guns we got. You know, it's all to disarm the American public. They don't want us to be armed. But the stupid thing is, if shit hit the fan, they'll be screaming out, "Where is everybody?" You know? It's the way I look at it. Well, I mean, really, but I'm preaching to the choir here, aren't I, really? You know, we all know that the Second Amendment, it just guarantees our right that was given to us. You know, intangible, is that the word it used? I can't remember. I was God-given. I mean, how can you take away a God-given right? You can't. But what they'll do is that they will try everything in their power that, you know, and they'll say, "Oh, no, look, the Second Amendment's still there," but it will be absolutely toothless because they're at state level and stuff, they're just whittled away at it. That makes it almost impossible. Look at that. Where in the hell is it now? I was listening to it the other day on a radio show. I'm trying to think. Was it in California? In one of the counties? They come up with a county law is that you cannot have a gun store within 500 yards of sort of like a government building, a school, playground, shopping center. So basically, the way they worded it was there's nowhere in that county that you can put a store. So they're basically stopping you from buying guns. I can't think of the county it was in, or the town. No, it was a town, sorry. You couldn't buy anything inside. There won't be a gun store inside that town because it's not allowed. Hey, afternoon, Graham. You know, so I mean, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. It really is. You know, but I mean, I go out and I carry every day. 99% of the time, I'm carrying my M&P 45 full size. It's a big old gun, but I'm a big old guy. I like the feel of it sitting there on my hip. You know, and to be honest with you, I've been experimenting with different holsters, as I was saying over the last few weeks. You know, because I've been wearing my overalls lately because they're damn comfortable. They really are. And I'm trying to figure out how to carry it with it. So basically, what I do right now, I found the most comfortable way for me to carry it. Not so much comfortable, but for me to be able to draw the gun. You know, I got more comfortable ways of carrying it, but it's getting to it is the hard part. But for me to be able to get to it and pull it and draw it, if I need to, in a reasonable amount of time, is I actually I'm just strapping on my outside the waistband holster with my belt. Just putting it on around my waist before I pull my pants up, basically. My overalls up. And yeah, I mean, it's not uncomfortable. You can tell it's there, but it's not uncomfortable. And so that's what that's how I've been carrying it lately. And because I went down the range and I had this sort of like, I showed it on the on the screen the other week. I don't think I got it with me here right now, but I asked her like a belly. It's not a belly band, but it's very similar. And hang on a minute. I'm trying to paste a link here. That's what's slowing me up. I'm having trouble trying to do two things at the same time here. I'm having trouble walking and chewing gum at the same time. So forgive me. But anyway, that belly band type holster, if that's what you want to call it, is very, very comfortable. But I can't get the gun out fast enough. You know, I really can't. So, you know, that gets thrown into the drawer holsters. You know, I might use it in the summertime if I'm, you know, wearing something really lightweight and need to take a gun with me. I might use it. But otherwise, because I went down with this system with just the holster strapped on with a belt, and I was drawing it one-handed. I was practicing. If somebody tried to accost me, is that the correct word? Accost me, that, you know, holding up, because I'm walking with a cane and holding my cane, pulling one-handed and shooting one-handed at the targets. You know, I'm a pretty good shot one-handed. Took me a while to figure out how to do it. You know, do it that slight slant, and then I was able to hit the target. But a new problem. I'm in the process, because I walk so bad now. I do. I walk. Watching me walk it's even painful watching me walk. Somebody filmed me the other day, and they sent it to me. They watched me walk outside of Walmart, and I was watching myself. God damn it! It even looks painful for me to watch me walk. You know, but I'm in the process of getting an electric scooter, so it's going to be a whole new thing. Will I be able to use that holster and draw? Or will I have to put some sort of hidden holster on the actual scooter itself? You know? I don't know. I'd rather have the holster on myself, because what happens if you have to get off the holster to do... the scooter can't go everywhere. So you got to get off it. And I don't like the idea of leaving the gun there. Plus going somewhere, walking somewhere, not having the gun on me. You know, because what happens if I'm attacked between the scooter and wherever I'm going? Or am I being too paranoid? I don't. This is the kind of stuff I lay in bed thinking at night. I need to get a life, I guess. I didn't actually get. I didn't get to go much shooting this week. Only went one time because up here in Rhode Island it rained most of the week, which kind of sucked. I know bullets don't care if it's wet or not, but I care if I'm wet. Yeah, today's a nice day, but unfortunately, I don't like going on weekends because it's goddamn crowded. And I'm not a crowd person per se. I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. Steam. Don't want people to think I'm doing things wrong, or be told I'm doing something wrong, or I don't know, which I think is bad. I should be shooting with more people, which I think will make me a better shooter. But now we're getting into psychological stuff. So I won't bore you with all that. You know? Because before you know it, someone will be calling them saying, hey, he's got mental issues. Why in the hell has he got a gun for? I don't have mental issues. I was just, you know, I don't call it mental issues. I just call it sort of like not a fear of being told I'm wrong or anything like that. Or maybe it is a fear. Fear of what people, you would think after all these years that I would worry about what people think of me. You know? But I do. Hey, Dano.
Hey, Rick. How you doing today?
All right, not too bad.
Yeah, just to touch on that point that you were talking about, what that means is that you are a human being. And human beings, although we come in many different shapes and sizes and personalities, we are by nature social beings. We are social creatures. We are not isolationist in our natural environment because we cannot survive on our own. I mean, that's just a fact. That's not debatable. That's why we come together in communities and we form towns and cities and things like that long before there were even governments. So I wouldn't let that be a concern as far. I mean, that's just simply that part of who you are as a human being coming out. It's just a matter of making sure that you control it and it doesn't control you.
No, okay. Hey, Smeggy. So, oh, okay. I understand what you're saying.
So I mean, I don't view that. I mean, you're viewing it as a concern, and I'm just saying, I don't think you need to be concerned because I don't view it as a weakness. I view it as actually a strength because when you're aware of what other people are thinking about you, that means you have a greater situational awareness as well. You know what's going on around you. You're paying attention.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. I do. I mean, but I do seem to keep an eye on what's going on around me quite a lot. So I don't know why. I just do, which is a good thing in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about this little town here I live in. Yeah, I mean, it's getting. I mean, there were some break-ins just down the street the other day. I mean, when I first moved here, I'm only talking up to a few years. I mean, I've been here a while now, but even up to 2 or 3 years ago, you could go out and leave your door open. Nobody bother you. Today, you got to lock everything. It's that's just the way the times are going.
I live in a small town, a little over 3,000 people, and but we're just under a half hour from a large city that has a lot of crime. And I remember back in the 60s and 70s when I lived in the Chicago suburbs, and what at that time it was absolutely true what I'm about to say, and that was they were the lily white suburbs. There were no people of color, period. Now that's not true anymore today, but that was true at the time, and I'm just simply trying to put it in context. And so what used to occasionally happen in the summer is there would be groups of people that would come out for, day after day. They didn't live in the suburbs, but they would come out there, and whether it be they do top coat your driveway or do some sort of home repair, and they'd go from house to house to house selling their services. Well, what they were also doing is casing the homes. Who's home, who's not. If they're home, do they happen to leave at any certain times? And that's where, and they weren't the ones that were doing the stealing, the robbing. They would pass along that information to another group of people within their larger community that would then target certain homes for robbery.
Oh yeah, I can see that happening.
Or burglarizing, I should say.
Yeah, I can see that happening quite easily. Hey, Ohio, good to see you. A school teacher was killed just down the street from us last week, shot and stabbed. Jesus, I tell you, it's happening everywhere. It really is. As I said, this burglaries they had, this guy, people have been seeing him all around town, walking up and down streets. But nobody's been able to see him do anything. They finally caught him actually breaking and entering.
Yeah.
So,
well, safety, and this is something that everyone pretty much knows, but they don't necessarily have it at the top of their consciousness, is not like pregnancy where you either are safe or you are not safe. There are degrees of safety. You are more safe or less safe. You are not absolutely safe. There, regardless of where you are or where you live, there is always a chance that you and some bad person is going to come and do bad things. The likelihood is the only thing that changes. And of course, like all predators, criminals like to search out for new hunting grounds, easy pickings. So they make the, and you know, this is going back to the Chicago suburbs again, but they would go from town to town and also make it less likely to get caught. I mean, you can only blacktop the same person's driveway so many times.
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, anyway, so what else I was going to talk about? I don't know how to put it. I don't want to badmouth anybody or anything, but all I can say is the more I watched Yankees videos, the less I like the guy. You know, the other day I was sitting there listening to Matt's chat on YouTube, and Yankee came in, and I left. I just can't stand listening to him anymore. I don't know what it is. I guess he's my Wayne LaPierre or whatever you call it, I guess. You know, like he has a hard on for him. I guess I got a hard on for Yankee, if you know what I mean. But it's pretty sad when you let that happen to you. So anyway, I thought maybe if I stay away from him for a couple of weeks, I'll get over it.
Well, I mean, you know, just speaking for myself, you know, for a long time, I realized that, you know, in what I call topic chats, not lobbies, we would have, and he was far more interested in having everyone shake their head that either he's right or just simply shut up and let him talk. He's not interested in a discussion. He's interested in a spectacle.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he's interested in. And he doesn't want to have a conversation. And once I realized that he will talk over you repeatedly to talk you down, and then cite what he'll say is, well, everybody knows that the FBI report said such and such and such and such. Well, where did you get that from? Well, everybody knows. Right? Don't you know? Don't I know? That implies if we don't, we must be stupid.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I think that's what's getting to me. He's talking down to me. I feel he's talking down to me like I'm, you know, condescending type attitude. I'm getting.
I mean, I mean, there's some things he says that I agree with, and there's some things he says that I disagree with. His method of having a discussion is what I cannot tolerate.
Maybe that's what I'm
discuss things.
Especially lately. As I said at the beginning of the show here, I started it with, I still support the NRA, and I'm still going to. You know? And I guess it's the way he's trying to ram it down everyone's throat that we need to leave. They ain't no good. You need to go over to the GOA. They're a better organization. Like, he is the God's gift on knowing what's right for us. That's what gets to me. You know? So I said that's why I'm not watching him lately, because he's just rubbing me the wrong way. So I gotta let all this calm down some before I get back into the fray. You know, because I will go tell him to go fuck himself. I have no heartburn with that. Hey, Bob, I see you're in here. Biker Bob. You can join the chat if you want. There's a link in there.
Yeah, I actually came over here just expecting just to listen to you, and then I saw that you had put out a link.
Well, yeah, because while I'm here, is at the top on the Hangouts, the last 3 weeks, when you start the Hangout, it's got that little button where it says you can invite people.
Uh-huh.
You type their name in it, and it comes up and you click on it and send it away. It don't work anymore. Not for me anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's how I invite people into the chat, but I can't get it to work. And I don't know, is there a way to do something like that on gun channels?
Yes. You copy the link, and then you open it up where it says chat, and then like right now it says 15, meaning there's 15 people on gun channels.
Yeah.
Then you click on the name of the person you want to give a link to, and then a little window will pop up with their name and a little text window, and you'll see the cursor blinking at the bottom of that little window.
Yep. Yeah.
And you just paste the link or what you want to say right in there.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. I can do that. But I mean, if the person's not on, you can't do it, though, can you?
Right. If they're not on, they can't get it. But if they're not on, they're not going to join the chat anyway.
Yeah, true. So, but normally the link will be sitting there for when they sign on, and if I'm still up and running, they can. You know. Yeah.
But for the most part, doing what you did as far as just putting the link in the general open to gun channels member chat, is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to keep it to a very small group.
Oh, I don't mind who joins at all. More the merrier. The longer, I mean, the easier it is to keep going for an hour. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can talk and talk and talk, but I even get tired of my own voice sometimes. Yeah. What else did I mention earlier? Oh, yeah, I didn't get to the range much because it was raining, and which is a shame.
Speaking of the range, something that I don't know specifically about you, and maybe you can share a little bit, is what type of firearms do you enjoy in regards to whether it be the range or just going outdoors in general?
I like going out in general. I love going to
what type of firearms?
Oh, firearms!
Do you enjoy?
Mainly pistol. I'll go out. I got a approved Maverick 88. That I will go take. Like they're at the range. We have a shotgun range that has two big giant gongs on them that you can fire at your heart's content. So I do that. I'll do that occasionally. But and the only other thing I have a M&P 1522.
Oh, okay.
That's the only sort of like rifle I have.
Now that M&P 1522 has that been, as far as feeding and ejecting, reliable for you?
Yes. So far.
Because I was really tempted in getting that exact rifle back around 2012, and then Connecticut happened, and then all ARs, regardless of calibers, either went way up in price or just simply became unavailable. And of course, 22 ammo was gone, which is what made me interested in the first place. Is I thought, well, here's an inexpensive way of doing, short range for a rifle, that is, but long range for a pistol type, practicing with that form factor.
Yeah. I'm getting an echo here. I can see. Ohio says he gets it too. Now he said I can hear it.
Let me mute myself when I'm not talking, and then you tell me if it goes away.
No, I think it's coming from me. I don't know. No, you're right. It's not. I don't hear it now.
It must have been on my end. I'll mute myself when I'm not speaking.
Okay, you must have a really sensitive thing there. Yeah, it's Dano. You must have a really sensitive microphone.
Yay for me.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I've had no problems with that 22. I used the 25 25 capacity mags on it. I mean, I mean, I've only got two, so I've gone through. I put one in after another and shot 50 off one after another, boom, with no problem whatsoever. Loaded them up again and done it again. So, and it has not failure to feed yet on me.
How is the ease of cleaning and maintaining the bolt and bolt carrier? Because it is 22 ammo, I imagine it gets gummed up pretty quickly.
Oh, it does. I mean, but I'm not. I mean, it does get gummed up, but I clean my guns every time I shoot them. I'm not one that leaves it for ages and ages. So, I mean, I'll shoot it, and then I'll come home and I'll clean that 22. But it does get gummed up. I reckon if you shot 1,000 rounds through it, 500 to 1,000 rounds, you would more than likely have to run a snake through it or clean out some pull the bolt out and give it a clean and put it back in, because it does get it does get dirty. It really does.
Yeah, that's just the nature.
With it,
Yeah, that's just the nature of 22.
Yeah. And cleaning the 22 is no problem. I had made when I first got it, because I bought mine. What's the word for it? Used at the gun store, and so I mean, believe it or not, maybe it makes me less manly, but I read the manuals, and of course, it didn't come with one. So the first time I'm trying to clean this thing, I couldn't figure out how to get the front off to remove the rail clean underneath it,
Right. And by the way, I read the manuals as well. But yes, and that's where YouTube is your friend.
Oh, yes. That's how I figured out how to do it. I put in there YouTube cleaning M&P 1522, and I found a YouTube on it. So I watched it, and I figured out what I was doing wrong.
I made one of my very early videos was how to reinstall the cotter pin in a AR-15 bolt carrier. Now, it seems very simple. It's like, my God, it's a cotter pin. How difficult can it be? But if you've never put one in an AR and realize that if you push it through the hole, that it actually does not maintain that center line that you think it is. It's actually going off, typically either upwards, which means it's not going to connect with the hole because it's not a solid channel all the way through to the other side.
Yeah,
it's like putting a cotter pin through a hollow pipe and expecting when it gets to that other wall that it's going to match directly into it, and it doesn't. But there is a fairly simple way of getting it in there every time. But if you've never seen it or never had anybody show you, I got a message this morning, said, "Thank God I found your video." And that's the typical message I get from a 4 or 5 year old video that I did years ago. And I get these messages every week.
Yeah, but that's good. I mean, that it's too prevalent. Yeah. I tell you what, I mean, that's like when I bought my my 1911. I was reading the manual there, and you got to line up that little sort of like dent in the thing to pull to take the
to get the bushing out.
Yeah. Oh man, I had to watch a YouTube to figure it out. Because I just couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah, and that's a great example of picture can be worth 1,000 words.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah. So I mean, I do. There's some great videos on that kind of stuff. There really is. And actually, that's one of my little things here I was going to talk about is, I'm getting, I don't know, is it lazy? It's not, I don't know if it's lazy or complacent or both. Is I used to make a couple of videos a week, but they weren't helping anybody out. They were just me BSing like I'm doing right now. I stopped doing that, and all I'm down to now is this Saturday podcast. You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't do anything like showing how I break clean things or anything like that, because it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Feeling what, people will say, well, you're doing that wrong. It's oh, I tell you what did come, change the subject. I wanted to mention this. This was mailed out. What's today? 28th? This was mailed out on the 26th. I haven't got my deck of cards yet. But I got my poster.
Now, if you
see it on the screen there.
Were you planning on putting that under glass and maybe hanging it on the wall?
Absolutely.
That's what it would be best used for, is, with just a, thin sheet of glass and an inexpensive frame.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm going to do. And I got the spot for it on the wall already. Yeah. Then now I'll have that, and I'll have the cards as well. I would imagine they'll get here Monday now. They must have got separated, in the mail.
So you mentioned that you're mostly into pistols and range. So what type of pistols do you enjoy? And what type of pistol, if you don't mind sharing, what type of pistols do you have? I
have I said my main carry is an M&P 45 full size. I have a 1911 45. I like 45. I have a Beretta 92. Is it 92S or 92F? It's that Italian trade-in that Bud's Guns were selling a few months ago. My one was practically my one brand new. There wasn't a damn mark on it, except there was a scratch on one of the grips. Besides that, the rest of the gun was spanking brand new. There wasn't a mark on it. If it was issued, you never fired it, which I thought was quite nice. That's a 9mm. I have a Taurus P8, Taurus 85, which is the 38 special. That's a great little gun. What I first done with it, though, because it had the rubber grips on it, I didn't like them. I hadn't fired it. I took them off and bought some wooden grips. Then I went and fired it. That was a mistake. Man, that thing has some little. That thing has a little snap to it. But I put the rubber grips back on, and it handles a hell of a lot better now. So that's that one. I've got a P64, that Russian or Polish gun that takes that 9x18 Mokotov, how you pronounce it?
Their version of the Makarov.
Yeah, I mean it looks like a Walter PPK. It looks like a James Bond gun. They claim they never copied it, but I swear they did. What else do I have? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, and my North American Arms 22 Magnum.
Now, if I were to buy a small gun like that, that would be the exact model and make that I would buy. That one right there.
Yeah. I changed the handle and put this on it for if I do carry it, it covers the trigger.
Does it not when it comes from the factory, does it not cover the trigger?
No, you can buy them this way. No, but the one when I first got it, no, it had wooden handles on it.
Oh, they changed.
It looked like just like a miniature. Did
you buy it used?
No, I bought this brand new, but I bought this separate.
Oh, okay.
And I put it on myself because I sometimes, like, if I'm going somewhere, and I said 95% of the time I wear my big 45, but I know you're not meant to, like going into hospitals and stuff like that. If I have to go into the hospital, I'll put this in my pocket. and leave the big gun at home. You know.
Yeah. See,
I know it's only a 22 Magnum, but you know, it get their attention. Why get away?
Plenty of people die every year from 22 long rifle, let alone 22 Magnum.
Yeah.
So it is an effective round, period.
Oh, yeah.
Versus the end of your finger.
I do practice with it too. You know. So.
Now, is that fairly snappy or?
No, actually, it's not that snappy. I was surprised, for as small as it is.
Is it a bit of a fireball?
But it's, you know, anything over 10 yards, you might as well hang it up. You know, because you ain't going to hit your target.
Right. It's kind of a belly gun up close and personal. But
yeah.
Do you typically get a fireball out of that thing or not really?
Not really. No, it's a damn good gun, that one. And it really is. I mean, it's not quick because when you reload, you got to take the actual cylinder out. You know,
yeah.
I mean, because you got to. I mean, you have to do all. It's not fast because you got to pull that out, and that drops out. Okay.
Yeah. It's not if you have to reload, it's going to be over before you get it reloaded.
Yeah.
But one thing that I had when I saw that initial design a couple of years ago that I had hoped, and I found out it wasn't true from G-Webs, was that you could literally adjust it so you could flick it open, like with the flick of your wrist. But evidently they're too tight where that's not possible. Because I thought that would be a really great, fantastic backup gun if you could actually grab the holster and then, you know, kind of like a flipper knife.
Yeah.
You could flip the firearm open to put it into action. Because if you're pulling your backup gun, things have gone horribly wrong.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And having to unfold it manually like that is just the kiss of death in regards to time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, mainly, when I've carried it somewhere, it's more is I'll be able to use it if, you know, they're looking at something else and not watching me.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
I mean, if they're keeping their eye on me, then all I can be to the police is a good witness and hope they don't, you know.
But I still like the idea of the gun, but that's the gun that by far gets my eye when it comes to those little small guns.
Yeah. Now, but you say that, I know G-Webs had some holsters for these for sale. So if I put the other grits back on it, you could put a pocket holster on it. You at least come out and shoot it faster than trying to flip it open. You know, because I mean, there's no trigger guard on these things. You know, there's actually no trigger guard on it.
Right.
That's the only downside to it. That's why I put that cover on it. And I bought that after I sold the holsters because G-Web was selling a couple. I went, damn, I should have bought one of those. But
well, you know, you might want to drop him a note to see, you know, because he has so many of those little guns, he might have something else that might work. That, you know, maybe it's not the greatest of condition, but maybe it would still work for your purposes.
Yeah. Because I would like to be able to pull it out faster, and pulling it out of a holster than trying to sit here and, you know, pull, you know, lift it open, push the button to close it and everything else. It's time consuming. So, yeah, but I like that little gun. I do take it down the range and use it. And I'm thinking, okay, then I got the Maverick 88 shotgun, then I got the 15-22 rifle. And that's it at the moment. I'm looking at getting. I want another. I was thinking of changing. Actually, believe it or not, I was thinking of changing my carry gun to a 9mm 1911. I don't know why. I was looking at them the other day, and one took my fancy. You know, well, I like the looks of that. So Unfortunately, I don't go in and read all the specs. I buy on looks. As I said this
Well,
once. I said this
you're
once.
not the only one.
Like I'm saying, if I was going to go buy a car, and there's two sitting there, one's bright red, flashy looking, the other one is kind of dull, but gets 50 miles to the gallon. Hell, I'm going to buy the flashy red one. That's just the way I am.
Well, you're not the only person like that. That's a fairly common trait. Exactly, whether it's cars, whether it's shoes, or whether it's firearms.
Yeah, you're right. I guess so. I don't know. That's the way I've always been. Hey, I'm too old to change now. So.
As long as if it's going to be a carry piece, as long as it's reliably feeds and ejects, that's all that matters.
Yes, right. You're absolutely right. What else I was going to talk about here? Oh yeah. I mean, I was going to say, I mean, of course, I've been watching the news. You flip on Fox, the old Democrats and old Hillary's up their eyeballs in corruption again. But you flip on all the other channels, to them, it's fake news that Fox is putting out. So I don't know who to believe. Oh, now, that Uranium One deal and her receiving money and all this kind of stuff. That's, I don't know. I've got to the point where, does it really matter now? In a sense, it does, because if she did do something illegal like that, she should be pulled up on it somehow. I don't know what, put in jail.
In the big picture, I think that it does our society well that every once in a while we need to know that the laws do indeed apply to everyone. Now, I understand they get away with it 99% of the time because they have the power, they have the access, they have the money. But every once in a while, to get us little people to cooperate with this system they have in place, we need to see that the law applies to everyone. And that's why every once in a while, somebody either big of fame, big of political power, big of money, needs to be held accountable. Because otherwise, there's no reason for the masses to be accountable. And that's when the rich, ultra rich are truly threatened.
Yeah.
If we don't feel accountable and we outnumber them vastly, they will sacrifice one of their own. If they feel that, okay, we need to be fed that truism that we hope is true, that the law doesn't need to apply to everybody, then they have to put out a sacrificial goat. Whether that's Hillary, whether that's Comey, whether that's both, whether that's other people, they have to put somebody out there. Because they can only pull so much stuff that's obviously guilty people getting away with sometimes murder.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they've even got the theory on that. A lot of people who worked for Hillary have disappeared over the years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Clinton body trail.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know some of it's not true, but there's got to be some truth to it. I mean, you just the thought of her selling stuff while she was, well, not so much selling stuff, but making money out of the position she had as Secretary of State.
What she was selling, Rick, was access. That's what she was selling.
And that scares the shit out of me. That does.
And this approval needed for international transfer of goods.
Yeah,
that's what she was selling. Was access and that.
I was reading somewhere that what was it? I mean, she's come out of after a few years in office or whatever. Somehow they're now got $54 million. But How in the hell do you get $54 million being a politician if you're doing it legally? You know, it's amazing.
Well, you know, there was the Clinton Foundation, which was supposed to be for the Clinton Library, which morphed into a whole nother thing. And of course, when you create something like that, that's really just a funnel on where your customers can put money into, and thus now you've got access to the people, and you can get the proper documents approved for sale of an international good or product that would not normally be allowed.
I'm so sorry. Visa?
Wanda.
What the hell happened there?
Anthony Nestor, 110 military police.
I'm gonna have to call this in.
When the hell was that?
They're loading the crates. We gotta get in there.
You run in your, is your TV also your computer or something, or your computer also got a TV? You're muted.
He's gone now, right? Okay. I know what it was.
Gone.
Yeah, no, my bad. I had the regular gun channels on. I forgot to switch it off when I started. You know? So,
Okay.
there we go. Here we took care of that. I'm thinking, what in the hell's that? I said, that ain't Dan.
I thought it was a TV that came on. Because it sounded like some car going around a corner, somebody trying to run away.
Yeah, I did. I looked at my TV, but my TV's muted. You know, it's on, but it's muted. But anyway, took care of that problem. So anyway, back to I don't know. It's just I'm disappointed in the government right now. I really am. In general, is that they haven't done anything we've asked them to do. You know, now they're him-hawing on this tax thing. You know, it seems to me the swamp is still there, and they do not want to do anything that Trump wants because it goes against the flow of how they do their thing. You know, like this. I mean, I'm thinking about this. The Senate and the House have had so many days off this year that it's a joke. And they've absolutely achieved nothing that I can see. Unless I'm missing something here. Nothing that benefits me anyway. So, I don't know. It's just sad. It's just really sad. You know, then of course, what's going to happen now? Everybody's into election mode for next year. So nothing's getting done, and that really upsets me. It really does.
Well, you're not the only one. You're not alone in that respect. So maybe, you know, draw a little solace from that.
Yeah.
It's not that your thinking is way off base. No, it's not. And that, you know, the difference between the R party and the D party is virtually almost nothing. I mean, it's getting less and less.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To where now there's just a party of politicians, and once in a while you get somebody independently minded like Trump. I'm not saying he's a wonderful guy. I'm just saying you get somebody who thinks differently.
Yeah.
It's really just the party of politicians, not the party of Republicans. I mean, there are a few Republicans out there that still stand for what the Republican Party is supposed to, and there's some Democrats out there that stand for what the Democrats typically stood for, but the vast majority are like in a giant soup. They're all the same. It's just that, you know, they decide what party to be under depending on what the history of the voting history of their district is. If they know they have to be a Democrat to get a seat, they'll join the Democratic Party because they know that's the only way they can get elected in their area. And vice versa with Republicans.
I've seen that too. What's a shame is they've become, which to me is a contradiction, is career politicians. You know, they should go there, do their civic duty, and go back to whatever they were doing. It shouldn't be a 20-year, 25-year career.
I wish the founders, of course, we all wish the founders would have seen some things in advance, but could have seen the potential abuse of part-time civil service being abused to a full-time lucrative career.
Yes.
And put in some variation of term limits, because that's the only thing that'll stop it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's why they did it for the presidency, for he doesn't become a dictator or
a king,
something like that, a king or something, you know.
And until that happens, we're not going to see much change, I'm afraid.
And with the people in there now, they're not going to vote that in on themselves.
Yeah. You know, it's like, do you think they'd ever vote themselves a pay cut because of their performance?
Oh no, they're more like putting themselves in for an increase for next year.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. I mean that's sad. I mean, they're exempt from a lot of stuff that we have to do. You know, they have their own health care plan, and they only have to serve 1 or 2 terms, and they get retirement for life. And
they're exempt from almost all of the requirements that a corporation is required to do, such as the anti-discrimination laws. That doesn't apply to Congress.
No.
EPA, all those regulations, doesn't apply to Congress. Compensation minimums doesn't apply to Congress. I mean, you can just go on and on as far as all the laws they passed on the rest of us, both individually as well as corporations, that don't apply to them, either as individuals or as collectively.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's just it's I don't know. I just want to go up there and slap them. I really do. You know, problem is you can't. I mean, I would say I would love to, in some way, say I'm going to go run for, you know, the government position like that. But it takes money from this end. You know, it's not like it used to be, where your normal person could run for a position.
Well, once, you know, getting your message out there electronically became required, and of course it takes money to get that electronic message out there. That's when everything changed. As far as you couldn't get a regular person out there because they didn't have $500,000, and that's just at the low end, to buy airtime to put your messages out there, to get on the plane to travel your state, or get it, depending on the size of your state, you know, a vehicle to be literally driving around full time from community to community to community, giving your message.
Yeah. You know, and I think the only way you can do it as a normal person is you're not going to be able to get up into that level. You might be able to do it at town level as a normal person still,
or city or county.
Yeah. Anything above that takes money. And plenty of.
Well, even the town and county level still takes some money, just not as much. Then you have to go with bulletin boards and signs on the lawns. It still costs money. You have to have support in terms of people willing to help you get that stuff out there. And then you've got to do the thing about going out and pressing the flesh. Go door to door, from town to town, knocking on people's doors. Say, hi, my name is such and such. I'm running for this office. If you have a few minutes, I would like to hear your concerns. And just put it out there like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you ask the people what they want, rather than say, I'm for this and I'm for that and I'm for the other. Don't tell them what you want. Ask them what they want.
Sounds like you're about ready to run for office there, Dano.
No. But, you know, that although that sounds so unique, only because they've forgotten that they serve us, we don't serve them.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why it sounds bizarre. A politician come knock on my door and ask me what I need? Are you crazy?
Yeah, you're right. I haven't seen it happen in a long time. I haven't had a politician knock on my door, even at town and city level, in a long time. You know, so there you go. No, but I can. I think we're boring everybody with these politics talk here. I'm not getting much in the chats.
Yeah, we can switch the topic. What else you got?
What else have I got here? Let's have a look. Oh, I don't know if you were in the room when I mentioned early on about the NRA and their lobbyists.
I was not.
I was doing research on that, and their stew for 2A gun stuff. They are still the main people that the government deals with. You know, do Guns of America, and I mean, they got the staunch policies, and what's his name, Paul Rand, says they're the no give organization.
No compromise.
Yeah, but they have nobody. They ain't taking nobody to dinner, shaking hands, kissing babies like the NRA does. You know. And I watched that chat. Did you watch that chat on James Yeager with Chris Cox?
No, because that came out about a day ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I saw it this morning, but I since it was 45 minutes long, I didn't have a chance to look at it yet. But I did see it.
Yeah.
That it was there.
I listened to it, and I thought it was fairly, for what it was. It was, you know, he asked him about that statement they put out. Did they have any regrets putting it out? And Chris Cox said no. When they put it out, that's what they wanted. But he didn't come out and say it. But I think it didn't go across like they expected it to. You know, but it ain't gonna. But it had no regrets doing what they did. But he says, like anything in government, it works very, very slowly.
I do have a question for you based on this subject of the NRA. Something that I've heard, but I haven't heard the particulars as to why, is to the NRA board not having the power to make the decisions that need to be made at the NRA. And this is coming via Yankee.
Yes, I saw his. I heard that too.
And there are poison pill measures that corporations can take I'm just giving you an example here, that they can take to make it unlikely that a company is going to want to buy them out. They can dilute their stock value if somebody attempts to get 5% or more of their stock by just issuing more stock, thus by diluting the value.
Yeah,
that's just simply an example. But
I'm going to research that part myself. I was just doing the lobby side right now, but I'm going to go into that because I heard that too, and I'm going to say no.
But corporations and previous boards are allowed to change the who has the authority to do what. So a previous board could have literally changed the I forget what it's called, but the rules on what they're allowed to fire, suspend, create policy.
Yeah, I mean, when the way I was listening to that, what you were saying was that there's no way that we can get rid of those people. If you wanted to fire Chris Cox or Wayne, what's his name, you couldn't do it.
And I don't have access to Pete Brownell, which he says, just ask Pete Brownell. Well, I'm not Pete Brownell's best friend, neighbor, nor does he know who I am.
No.
Because I would ask him specifically, what is it that's stopping you in the bylaws of the corporation from either replacing Wayne or changing their policies? How have they pulled the teeth of the board out? What was changed? Because they were able to do it a couple decades ago. So clearly, if he's making that statement, something had to change.
Yeah. You're right. You know what? That's something I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to read up on that, because there's got to be. I mean, so we're paying money, and there's only, as a member, it's member based. So we should be able to do something, because it's our money that gives them what they got. I mean, if we literally, I mean, if the 5 million or whatever members stopped sending in money, theoretically they wouldn't have a job.
Unless the rules have changed and we just don't know it. And that's where I kind of put I'm not putting all my faith into Yankee's statement about the NRA, because he doesn't give the details as to what changed. Why is the board toothless?
Well, he talks about something that happened in 1977. You know, they done something way back then or something. But so I'm going to research it to find out. You know.
Okay. Anything else?
I mean, like here, I mean, you look it up online. It says here the National Rifle Association claims to speak for more than 4 million gun owners, but the shots are really called by a hush-hush group of 76 directors. You know? So, you got to figure out what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to read into that, and I'm going to use that for one of my topics for next week.
Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing what you're able to find out.
Yeah.
Is there a board within the board?
Yeah.
There's the public board, then there's the private board.
You know? From, we need to look it up ourselves, so I'm going to. You know, I'm writing it down now if I don't forget. There we go. I'm going to look it up on my list for next week. So, there we go, everybody. Any questions, anybody? I'm just trying to, let me check the chat out here. Ohio, Bob, Grim, Josh, Raphael, Ghost Tactical, and anybody else who I might have missed. Thanks for coming in. Clover, Smeggy. And here, how the NRA board works. So, with that, thank you, and see you all next week.